episode 12, right?
Yes, episode 12.
Crossroads City. We have some guests at my right. Um, they want to introduce themselves. They could, and I think they should, right?
Yeah, so I mean, like last week we were talking about Act Like Men. And if you were listening to the podcast, we were playing around with the idea of Act Like Women because we think, it should be equal,
Yeah.
but there should always be an example. We should have examples of women of faith, and they could pull from the Bible and so on, but of what it is to be a woman, um, and more particularly a Christian woman,
Christian woman, yeah.
and how that impacts their lives or how it makes life better. And I guess they will go
And
into
be
it,
proud
right?
in their femininity in Christ. In Christ,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, So we could give you all chance to introduce yourself. They're not strangers to us,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay, hi. My name is Ariana Maharaj, but I'm the sister of Iran. I'm very proud to be the sister of Iran. He has been doing so well.
Very good.
And it's a privilege to be part of the podcast. I am I'll be considered a newbie to the gym, right? Earlier on in Iran's gym life, I think we were checking. I don't know if I should say the amount of years when you realize how long it's been.
Yeah.
Probably 12 to 15 years when he, first fell in love with the gym. I was his companion at the gym. But then I fell off the wagon, but I'm proud to say that I'm back on and doing what I can to ensure that I steward the body that I've been given. My body is a temple, and I have to ensure that it remains healthy
Correct.
and all of the things. So it's a privilege to be on Crossroads TT this evening and to be a part of this group and to be joined by you handsome folk.
If you had to talk about your job or
Mhm.
your occupation,
Yes.
what would you introduce yourself as?
Okay, so
Because I have no idea. Like when people ask me, so what is your sister do? What she's do? I was like she's working IT.
And when it is usually a general answer.
Yeah,
right?
there's be like, all right, okay. She's working with a company.
right. Okay, so from a professional point of view, my title is the Executive Operations Manager of an
See,
IT
you
firm. I don't think I'll say the name of the
No, that's
company,
okay, that's
right?
okay.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
you don't have
Yes.
to, yeah.
But I've been part of that organization for 10 years and it's been rewarding, it's been fulfilling. I've seen God use that to bless me in so many ways. So that's what I do from a professional point of view. So as the operations manager, the executive ops manager of
Right.
that IT
Okay.
firm,
Right. So she's
in
not
charge
just
of everything,
so you're not just in
basically.
IT.
Yeah.
Operations manager.
Yeah, the ops manager, right?
Yeah, and with that, I am not technical in nature, so I can't fix a PC per se, and I can't configure something in the cloud. But I ensure that the guys who have to do that, they do what they need to do.
All right. So
Yes.
she's a boss, right?
Yes. Definitely. Manager.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Welcome to my home. I am the wife of Aaron.
the wife.
The wife.
The wife.
DY.
Sure you know. Well, what I should say, well, I'm a teacher, biology and integrated, similar to Aaron, and I'm here to defend the women of God.
All right.
She making some people gonna fight.
I
It
know.
looks like it.
I heard like that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
but,
right, and then with that.
yeah. So the first question I really wanted to ask was, what is a woman? And you all feel free to jump in at any point in time with cross talk with each other,
Right.
so, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Share from your personal experience and then you could, go diverge on as much as you
so what is a woman?
All right. So being a biology teacher, right? In the biological aspect, it is a female from the human race with an XX chromosome.
Okay.
Right. The reason why I'm trying to put that in there is because of all the confusion that is taking place right now, where people want to identify as women and what I should say, take what is ours then.
The proper
Right?
genetic makeup.
Yeah.
So that is biologically.
Yeah.
Right? But biblically, we are co-heirs and a helpmate.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I know
And
that's Genesis, right? Genesis two,
Genesis 2:18.
right?
We
Yeah.
lost his battle, but she
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on.
they come prep, they have their work done.
Right? It is not good for a man to be alone, so
Amen.
God made the woman.
Right.
And while Adam was in charge of naming all the animals, and while he named his wife
Yes.
woman,
Mhm.
Right.
and he also named her Eve as mother
Mhm.
of
Right.
many nations, right?
Mhm.
So that is my take on what is a woman.
Yes, so I fully agree. Point blank, a woman is an adult female
Okay.
human being.
Right. Good.
That's it, full stop. That's what a woman is.
I like the fact that you use the word adult.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you have a girl, which
Yeah.
is a young
Yeah.
adult, but then woman is an adult, right?
Because we have like 10-year-olds, 9-year-old
Right.
Children.
Acting like
Right.
and they
Okay,
say,
yeah,
well,
okay.
they refer to themselves as women.
Right.
I would watch like the young women with young children, I would say.
Right.
Or girls and be like, no, you're not a woman yet. So I like the
Yes.
fact that hitting that nail on the head that your
Yeah.
ladies actually
Right.
expressing what defines and what makes up a woman.
Yes.
Yeah, it's have this we have a culture where when you reach a certain age and it's based on like your family,
Mhm.
and sometimes you see like a 10-year-old, oh well, you're a big girl now, you're a big woman now.
Yeah.
Or you see a boy and he's only 10 years old,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, 10 years old, he's a big man now.
Yeah.
And we
We throw the phrase.
we throw that phrase at them jokingly,
Yeah.
but it
Right.
actually integrates into their thinking and their thought
Right,
pattern.
yes.
Because imagine 6 uncles or 6 aunts telling you, "Oh, you're a big woman now,
Right,
or you're a
yeah.
big man now."
Yes.
What are they going to think? You know?
And
They would
how
think
they start
it's-
acting.
Yeah, and so they start acting out or start acting exactly like the way they see the adults
What they see,
acting,
Yeah.
and then we have a problem with it, thinking,
Right.
so you're still a child.
Right.
Why you
Kind of
acting
part of
that
the
way?
problem.
But
Why
we are
thinking
we are
like
part of
that?
the problem
Yeah.
because we are
Right.
telling them that they are adults,
Yes.
right? Or they're
Yes.
big people,
Right.
you know?
Nice.
Um,
So
Yeah, we just
Yes.
but I think I guess we will flow in the
Yeah.
conversation,
So what is a woman? So in God's design, you mentioned Miles Monroe in the previous podcast, right? Act Like a Man. So if you all did not look at that, make sure and head back over to that
Free plug.
episode. Shameless plug. I love Dr. Miles Monroe, and his teachings and stuff really has a strong influence on me.
Mhm.
So we're going back to the Garden of Eden,
Mhm.
and God made man. So man is the name of our species, right?
Mhm.
We have a male form and we have a female form.
Yes.
So God made the male the way that he did, and then the female the way that he did, with certain biological differences.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are one in
Yeah.
terms
Right.
of how we should act and how we should behave.
Mhm.
And I think what happens now too, we confuse the roles
Right.
with
Good.
our purpose,
Yeah.
right? The purpose of a female versus the purpose of a man is different.
vastly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, big
different,
difference.
Yes.
but our roles intertwine.
Yes.
You know?
Agreed.
Yeah, and I was thinking that when we look at what it takes, or what it means to be a man versus what it means to be a woman, when you combine that, you get the completeness and the ultimate reflection of God's nature, which
That's
is
right.
exactly what he says in the word.
Yeah.
Let us make man in the image
Image
and
and
likeness,
Yes.
and let them
Yeah.
have dominion and authority.
Yes.
So it's not that the
Left him.
man alone
Yeah.
has the
Yes,
dominion,
yes.
but the man, meaning the
Species, yeah.
Yes.
they have that dominion and authority.
So we both bring like equality and
We both not
togetherness.
that we bring it, but we have it.
yes,
Yeah.
We were the both male
were
and female. We
created,
were
yeah,
we were
with
endowed
that
with that
design.
dominion and that authority. Yes.
And when you come together, become stronger, and I say
Yes.
divine, what we are divinely created by God.
Yes.
So there's strength in that connection, that
Yes.
male and
So,
female
like
connection,
literally
man
in
and woman.
Genesis, right after where Adam calls her woman and so on, right after that it says, and so therefore a man will leave his
Leave.
mother and wife.
yes.
Sorry, his mother and
Mother,
father and
yeah.
cleave to his wife, and they
Right.
shall become
One.
one. Right.
Yes.
So it is in our design
Yes.
to work hand in hand.
Yes.
Right. So I mean, when you're working hand in hand with people, you have certain strengths and you have certain weaknesses
Right.
on both sides of the
Mhm.
or the equation.
Yes.
And we will do a whole session on what are the weaknesses of men,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah.
could probably
No, we can
chime in.
do-
They could
they
chime
can chime
in.
in.
That is just a whole
I know.
episode.
I
Yeah.
think part of being a man is owning up to your shortcomings.
Yes, of
Right.
course.
And the things that you need to improve on, and things that you can't control, and the
Yeah.
things you could control, and things
Yeah.
that you wish you could be in control of.
I think so. Like acting like a man also means owning up to those
Yes,
things
yeah.
and then finding a way to fix it.
Correct.
Right.
Improve on it. But with that in mind, we wanted to ask, what are the strengths of a woman, and then we will follow that up with like what is the weaknesses, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we
Right.
can probably trade some.
Yeah. Yeah, they could throw
So-
back at
Yeah,
us.
right.
Yeah, so before I share the first thought in my mind, that's also a thing that I thought about. We have, well, in society today, it's a comparison game,
Mm.
right? It's like, okay, the men could do things better
Yeah,
than
we're
the
always
women or
competing with
whatever,
each other.
right?
Yeah.
But with just to finalize my last point, we see it as a comparison game, but it has never been about that.
Mhm.
It's about ensuring that what we have, it builds companionship and completeness. And the first thing I thought about the strength of a woman, the woman has an ability to do something that the man could never do
Yeah.
on a
Yes.
I agree.
physical level.
Yeah.
I agree.
We
Yeah.
could never do it, and it is not a comparison game. It is a matter of we are the way we are, so
Yeah.
we can complete each
And
other,
that is,
right?
and that is the strength. That is the
Yes.
strength that you have as women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we
So
commend that.
And
So-
it is in the creation or the design.
Yeah.
the
For,
design.
for the completeness to happen,
The
that women are
design.
designed to
Yes.
perform certain biological functions. I
Yes.
think that's where you're going with this.
Yes.
And men have certain biological functions. And
Yes.
when we function within our purpose and our
Right.
design, then only could that whole picture be completed.
Everything,
Absolutely.
everything works cohesively.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, how awesome is God that He, the design, I mean, is just perfect on every
Yes.
single level.
I like
Who,
the fact
who
that
are we to want to
Change that,
change
right?
that,
change,
yeah.
change that or say, okay,
There's
that
not-
it
there's
could be
not-
done
we can
better
change
this
our
way.
word. That is perfect. It's
It's
perfect.
just so
Yes.
perfect. So, first strength of a woman, the ability to carry that baby,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
well, I wanted to kind of coin it as like the multiplying effect.
Yes.
We
Yes.
get the seed from the man, and then we multiply. We
Yes.
give him a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just before you jump in,
Yeah.
it have this saying where you say you give a woman how does go again?
I have that variety.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, jump in, jump in.
See, it's the wholeness, it's
Yeah,
the wholeness
jump
of
in.
it.
That's what I like.
was talking about multiplying. That's my point too. We are
Right.
multipliers.
Right,
So
yes.
what you sow, that's what you will reap.
Right.
Right? So even like cooking.
Right.
You want to bake a cake.
Right.
Give her the ingredients. You'll
This is
get
what I was
that.
talking about. Just I can
Yes.
put it
You
in
give
words,
a
right?
joke and they
Yes.
say, give a woman a word, you give you a sentence.
Sentence.
Yeah.
Paragraph, right?
That paragraph, you got a whole
So
essay.
that is one of our strengths. Yes, we could multiply, make children with our companion, well, I should say husband,
Mhm.
but at the same time, we multiply whatever we receive.
Yes.
Right? So again, it depends on what we receive. So if, for instance, we're receiving hate or judgment or what I should say, no love,
Mhm.
then what you expect to get.
Right.
Right? So our strength, you give us positive things, we'll get back even greater.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to check in our relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of the times, and I even think this way, that we have to go into a relationship being whole, right?
Mhm.
That's not exactly 50-50. It's like you have to be a whole person.
Yes.
No, you have to be
Right.
complete.
You have to be a
Psychology,
complete-
psychology shows
right?
that you need to be a
You need to
complete
be
person.
a complete person before you decide to get
Yeah.
into a relationship. Because when you're looking for somebody as a multiplier, or you're looking for
Mhm.
somebody to complete you,
Yes.
how can you give somebody something that's incomplete and expect
Yes.
them to complete
Right.
it, right?
Right.
You know, only the Lord can do that for us.
Correct.
Because we are all incomplete when it comes to our salvation
Yes.
and our sin and
Yes.
the burden of sin that we carry. But the Lord can do that for us. But we can't do that for each other. You know,
Yeah.
so like that
Completeness
is just
is in God. Completeness is in
completeness
Christ.
is in
Yeah.
Christ, you know?
Yes.
And it just popped in my mind as you were saying that.
So yes, multiplier. And next strength that I have is Proverbs 31. I think the
Yeah,
whole of
Proverbs
31
31
Talks about
woman.
it.
talks
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
strengths of a woman, right?
Mhm.
I think emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Women, we are emotionally intelligent. We are nurturers.
Yes.
We care. We we could tell if something wrong with just looking at somebody.
Yeah.
You know, men are more logical.
Have a
Right?
sixth
Yeah.
sense here. Have a sixth sense. They can
No,
just look
yes,
at you and say
seriously,
something wrong.
we have-
Okay, all right,
No,
hold on.
seriously.
All right, okay,
Like-
okay.
I'm picking up
Yeah.
something.
Okay, all right, okay. If it is that you could look at somebody,
You know,
And tell
it's a little-
something
it's a little
wrong.
Crazy. Yeah.
right? I play in chess.
You
Chess
go
right now,
ahead.
right? So I set up this whole conversation just to get this one question out.
Right.
If they could look at somebody and tell something wrong, how come always choose?
Let's see
How come
what this
always
is.
choose men that don't work out to become husbands?
Well, she didn't make that choice.
Hmm.
I didn't make that choice.
Past experiences, then.
But,
Past
but we
experiences,
had
then.
past
Past
experiences.
Right.
So,
Well,
I'm not judging you for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically, can
I'm
I
asking-
cancel the point?
Yeah.
well,
But I'm asking you to explain or to expound on what you just said about having a
yeah.
It's
Okay.
a
Like
sense-
divide,
the
right?
woman's intuition, right?
Yeah.
Divide.
Now, in across our social media and across media itself, locally, we've seen politicians and people of renown say, choose your men better
Right.
or choose wiser,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yeah.
choose better men, however you want to phrase it. They would have
Yeah.
said things like that.
Yeah.
Now, if you say women have this sense, what does
Yeah.
that mean?
All right. You need to go now?
I could start off.
I'll chime in too.
At first, the
Yes.
man presents himself
Picture is beautiful.
in a
They're going to
particular
highlight
way,
some of our weaknesses. Yeah,
right?
it's fine.
So just put in the plug. Yes, we made bad choices in the past, but the
Yes.
person that I married is a good man. He's a good man.
Hopefully,
Nice.
okay. Like, hopefully you can say
I know she would have said, I know she would have said something like that.
Right. So at first, these senses are intertwined.
Good.
It everything seems to be okay.
Yeah.
And for me, like when the vibes, you sense that something is off, then you know to pull yourself back.
Yeah.
So I mean I don't know if every woman is unique and every woman is different. So when they are in their relationships, yes, to the point, okay, that they get into this thing and then it eventually turns out bad. But
Right.
where does it come in when we have this vibe that
Sense.
it's not right?
Yeah.
I knew to pull myself away
Mhm.
because I believe that the Holy Spirit obviously had a big part to play in that.
Yes.
His influence, me being in the Word, me being in the church and being involved and all of that, the way that you see things and the way that you would make decisions would be different.
Yes.
So that would have also played a part in how far I took the relationship when I
Right.
realized, okay, that, this
So
is not
what are
where I
some-
wanted to go.
Yeah.
What are some of the markers then that women should be aware of when they're in their relationship? Because obviously we are all physical creatures,
Yeah.
and physical attraction plays a very big part
Yeah,
in
because
the
when you see
beginning.
someone is basically on the outside,
You
when
know,
you see
and you,
from
and, you,
afar,
and you can't
yeah,
see someone's personality,
Right.
and you can't see their flaws
Right.
initially,
till
and
they get to know them.
till they get to know them.
Yeah.
Right.
But then,
I think
what are some of those markers that women should be looking out for?
Right.
And that's like a message to the guys. Like, these are the things. If you checking off things on this list that
Yeah.
we're saying,
Yeah.
then those are the things that you had to fix.
Yeah, we had to work on
You know?
those things, yeah.
Right.
I think hopefully looking at a man of God, right? If this man of God is doing things contrary to what God says to do, right? He, let's say, for example, wants sex out of marriage, cheating, stealing, doing things like that, things that is definite red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you realize that he is doing that and he's saying it's okay, well then definitely you have to pull back.
Okay, what are some other, you said definite red flags.
Yeah.
What are some smaller red flags that might indicate
Yeah, things that
Those
we
things
just tend to
that we overlook?
overlook
Mhm.
because I think we are, well, say we as a society, men and women, whether we relationships or not, we just see the small stop signs and we refuse to acknowledge it
Yeah.
because we are led by emotions,
Mhm.
both parties. Led
And
by
more
emotions
more
yeah,
ladies than men
yeah,
with
and led
respect
by
to emotions.
feelings, and we tend to overlook it. And then when you get deeper in a relationship now, the problem that you saw that was small
Yeah.
becomes magnified 10 times that
Right.
amount.
Like we compromise early
Yeah.
on, and then we get
Mhm.
corrupted
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So how would you save, tell the young woman, these are the things that I wouldn't do, small, big, to save myself from heartache further down the road.
Well, to the point, there's no perfect man
Correct.
and there is no
Yes.
perfect
Correct.
woman.
Exactly.
So when it comes to like the smaller signs, those may be a little hard to miss.
Yeah.
And as Jimmy, you're recently married. I'm married 4 years now.
Good save.
Yeah. There are things that you pick up on when you're dating, but
Yeah.
then when you get married, you introduce a whole different
Listen, yeah.
personality, you know,
Mhm.
because I mean you never lived with this person before. So
Yeah.
there are things that just, you know, naturally presents itself that it won't present itself when you're out on a date or you're having dinner, etc. So to avoid those things, what I received counsel from a wiser older woman when I was
Yeah.
about to, you know, date or make the decision about, hey, I'm getting serious with this person. There should be foundational things that you are not going to compromise on.
Yes.
Things that you look for in a man that you do not compromise on.
Non-negotiable things.
Non-negotiable
I like that, I
things
like
that so of course number one is ensuring that this person is a real Christian, because you have
Yeah.
people who are just check
Pretenders,
reform
yeah.
Christian
Yeah.
type
Church
people, you
attenders.
know,
You know, church attenders.
warm, bench warmers,
Yeah.
and those
Yeah.
kind of people.
Share the word, everything.
Yes, and there are also the cases where people could mask it so well,
And
you
we live in
know,
society
my
now, you can-
goodness,
We'll
could
be
really
well done.
mask it well.
Yeah.
So again, having the Holy Spirit really living in you to allow that discernment to run its course is so important. So a non-negotiable for me was of course that he has to be a God-fearing man.
Yeah.
He has to display that he wants to work,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Back to when
Man,
you all
someone was
spoke
saying that for you.
when
Yeah.
you all spoke in the act like men
Yeah.
episode. A man has to work. The
And it was his
first
job.
thing that God
Yeah.
gave
Even was
Adam
a
to
job.
It's a
do
job,
yeah.
was to work.
Yeah.
If this man appearing, you know, lazy, or you know, he's probably job hopping,
Yeah.
doesn't have that desire or that
Ambition.
yearning, the ambition to want to work to provide.
But also not just blind ambition with effort behind it.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of people, a lot of guys, they have big ideas and they have big plans, but then nothing, no
Faith-
follow up.
Faith without works is dead.
Exactly. So they
Yeah.
have,
Like
they
you
have
said,
faith.
talk is
Exactly.
cheap, talk is cheap.
Exactly.
You see the
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
I think another thing while dating, if what's it, the ladies don't
I'm watching
understand
you.
is
Yeah,
if
basically gonna bust some files here.
if it is you realize this person cannot respect you for who you are or even your
Yes.
family,
Yes.
they
That's
probably show
important.
little disrespect. Not saying hi, let's say in front of your parents, they just in their phone or something like that. Something off already.
Mhm.
Right.
If you're with your friends and you all know for sure you're dating and they can't introduce you as this is my girlfriend or something like
Right.
that, well you know something is off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. If he cannot own up to what it is he wants with you, then he probably doing the same thing with other women. So you have to have that talk and know that all right, we are dating and we're not dating for fun.
Mm.
We're dating for a purpose, and that is get married.
To kind of wing back on what we had touched last week on, and this is to point out our weakness as men, right? And maybe you can all clarify on this. Do you think that the modern man is passive just like Adam when she was being presented with the fruit? She gave in because of the appearance, because how it looked, how attractive, because Satan basically appealed to her senses. Do you think that men are being passive into this society and not taking their stand when it concerns certain boundaries?
Yeah.
I think so,
Biblically,
definitely.
and across the border.
Yeah.
In what way?
Definitely,
In what ways that you
definitely.
think that you see men not really taking their charge?
One, some men, okay, yes, they go into work and they think that just providing financially, that is it. But they're not taking part and taking charge in the family, guiding the children, what to do, what is the right and what is the wrong thing, how to treat your parents. I think that is one. They absent from church. They're not being in leader in the home in prayer or anything like that. Mothers end up doing that. And I think that's a big
I think one of those
I
things,
agree.
Shane,
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll pick it up, but men have actually taken a back seat when it comes to leadership roles
Yeah.
in the church.
Yeah.
Corporate world, you still have a lot of men, you know, taking charge there, right? But in church, when you go and you look and generally across the board, you see a lot more women in service in the church. And when I
Yeah.
say service,
Well,
across
per meeting,
the
you're going to
different,
see women.
Yeah.
but across the different levels of service, all the way up to the head of the church,
Yes.
we see mostly
Women.
women taking
Yes.
taking that charge and fellas becoming bench warmers. And
Yeah.
when we take that back step, right, it is a guise or a guile of the devil that has done that, right?
Mhm.
Because now the shield for the family, the shield for society has been taken away.
Yes.
Yeah.
The purpose of like men, we are the providers, the cultivators, the protectors,
Yes.
right? And so we were supposed to be that shield in front of
Right.
everything. That's part of our purpose. We can take it. That's even if we talk about biologically, that's why we have more muscle mass.
Mhm.
If you look at two just regular people,
Yeah.
a woman and a man,
Yeah.
the man will
You can tell the
typically have
difference.
but the man will typically have more muscle mass. What's the
Yeah.
purpose of having more muscle? Not to
Right.
be able to put out more
Yes.
power or to be
Yes.
stronger.
Yes.
So we were supposed to be that shield,
Mhm.
and by taking your back seat, right,
Mhm.
taking and allowing the women to go forward because they understand that somebody needs to lead still,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, and so they taking, but
And,
they
you
taking
know,
all the brunt.
And just to make that point too, again, that's why like the male and the female were given that dominion and authority.
Yes.
Yeah.
So inherently, the woman also has that drive to
Yes,
lead.
because
So if
she
she's
knows
not being led in that
Good.
way, she
Yeah.
is going to lead.
she's going to lead,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
so
she'll want to nurture and take care of her kids.
Yeah.
So she realized she would have to do it.
yeah, and I know there are a lot of single mothers that had to go through that
Mhm.
that whole drama, right? And the
Yeah.
whole stress of having to
Mother
take
and
care of your
father.
kids and to be a mother and a father, to be a nurturer and a protector and a cultivator and a provider. And then we wonder how come kids messed up.
Correct.
They don't see a good example. They see girls grow up seeing their moms doing everything, and a man is here occasionally.
Mhm.
And so they grow up with the idea of
But do you feel,
what's the
That
purpose
is-
of a man?
this is my question to the
No.
woman, do you feel because men are being passive and they say we get swept in the back because we're not taking up our role, right? Do you think that is what makes the woman get to say hyper masculine?
I think so.
Secondly,
Yes.
if a man doesn't have standards, would you respect him?
Okay.
No.
So-
If a man, because we
Yeah.
are taught in today's society that men need to give in at everything, especially with movies. My mom was giving
Right,
a joke
yeah,
about
yeah,
Smallville. I was watching Smallville,
Right.
funny joke, and
I like small.
I was relented too because I'm in secondary school. I didn't have no cables to be watching. So I watched like a couple episodes, and this is me now. It's like Clark is a real simp.
Right, he's a
He's one same
Falana.
Yes, you telling me though, 7 seasons, you waiting to make a move and can't make a move,
And
and
this girl
anytime you
did-
make a move, you're making 3 steps
Yeah,
back.
but this girl dated everybody else.
else already showed this girl dated.
In front of him.
I mean, it kind of shows that he was kind of being like,
He's been passive. He's
Yeah,
been
very passive.
Because he wasn't taking
I'm not
that.
having standards. Hey, listen, if this is where you stand and you want to date people,
Right.
well,
Right.
This
I
is what
was
it
kind of
kind of come back to what I was saying before. You have to own up and say, "Well, this is my viewpoint. This is what I want."
you take charge.
If you can't do that, then anybody else would come and say, "Well, I could try to be it instead."
And this is why women probably
Yeah.
just emasculate men because they do have standards, or they do set
Yeah.
certain boundaries.
I know it's probably difficult for men too because some women they put up a very strong and standoffish kind of attitude, and I think it's just to protect themselves.
Yeah, it could be.
Because-
It could be.
Yeah.
I think though, when a genuine masculine presence is there, and I'm not talking about somebody who's aggressive.
Not macho, yeah, not
right?
macho.
Yeah, not macho, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
something that is what we could consider toxic masculinity, right? A genuine masculine presence, women fall into their feminine presence.
Right.
And so, like, for example, I have certain clients I would train that they have a very strong energy,
Mhm.
and I am not commanding, I am not aggressive towards them,
Mhm.
but they know exactly that I know who I am.
Right.
And so in that circle or in that time frame with training, they literally become more of a woman's woman, I can say.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
would see it as soon as the session is done and they leave, they revert.
Yeah.
And it's a defense mechanism that they
Right.
have up, you know.
Right.
But I think what Shane was asking, if you are a man and you have your standards set,
Yeah.
I think women now have something that they can actually respect because it's
Mhm.
like you're not just gonna give in to the wiles of any other body.
Yeah.
So a woman can just walk up to you and just
Yeah.
decides or say something and then
Yeah.
you go with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
So it's good that a man have biblical standards or have standards on
Of
both.
course. 'Cause again, it comes back to the design of how God created the hierarchy, so to
Yeah.
speak, right?
Mhm.
We have God at the head, you have the man, and then the man is responsible or in charge of the woman. And in that setup, it's not about the woman being subservient.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the order of things.
Mhm.
So if you have a man acting like a man, the woman will act like a woman.
woman.
And
Yeah.
just
That's
fall
what you were
into
saying,
it.
I
yeah.
just said, right?
A
Yeah,
man
just
who
fall into
owns up to who he is and knows
Yes.
who he is.
Just fall.
Then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then naturally the puzzle
Yeah.
completes itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? But what were some of the other strengths that you all probably had noted after we could do?
So a woman is very sensitive. So putting aside the vibe thing that we were talking about earlier, that's a
Yeah.
whole different thing. But generally,
We go and
generally, women are more sensitive. We have a soft, gentle, emotional side that the typical man does not have.
Mhm.
And I said it earlier that sometimes we confuse the roles with the purpose, right?
correct.
So in that regard, I am fine if a man is a little bit more soft than what one would consider to be the stereotypical
Yeah.
man.
Mhm.
And so like in the sense of a rule, it's quite okay if the woman takes out the garbage from time to time. I
Yeah.
mean, not really. It's gross. I really don't like doing it. But if it has to be done, it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be that set
Yeah.
rule. So sensitivity.
Yes.
I think that,
agree
and
with
I think
too.
it's a strength because if you're just strong and rigid, it's like,
On behalf
where
of
you
all
gonna
men,
go?
Yeah.
I would speak for myself.
On behalf of all men,
behalf
all
of
men,
me,
that's a big
then.
statement.
Let me speak for myself. When women behave like that, like soft and gentle, to me then, it makes the man feel more appreciated
Right.
and he generally gives love to the
Yes.
woman. Because the fact that what woman wants is love and what a man needs is respect.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yes.
We confuse the rules
Yes.
in today's society, we confuse it. When men they get emotional, but at the same point in time they don't have emotional maturity. You women
Right.
have more emotional stability because of their monthly cycles and whatever.
The hormones.
But men
Debate.
Yes,
men
those hormones.
men need to understand that if a woman is hyper masculine, there's a reason behind why she's being hyper masculine.
Yeah.
Do you think we men do pick up on these
No,
things?
we
as the
do,
reason why?
we do. But I don't think we pick up really any reason why. But the reason why is because she around men who not acting like men, right?
Right.
But we tend to now decide that is too much to deal with
Mm-hmm.
because we don't want to
Because
step
it
up.
becomes a competition at
Right.
that point.
So now
yes.
now it's no longer trying to get a woman, is
Yeah.
you competing with another
Yeah.
alpha
Yes.
in the space.
Who
Right.
leading
Right.
and who following and
Right? So who leader, who following,
Exactly.
But beyond that is like you're no longer actually trying to get with a woman, you're competing to be with another man.
yeah.
Right? In terms
And
of
that's
the
what it
energy.
feels like, and
Yes.
Right?
there's a lot
Yeah.
of fights.
And so it's,
Yeah.
it's like you just keep butting heads because both of you all now don't know how to fall into that role. One,
Yeah.
the women have to step up beyond what they normally have to do,
Yes.
and the men failing to step up to what they have to do. And so
That-
when you see those combinations,
Mixed up.
not that it can't work sometimes, but majority of the times those combinations don't
Nah,
work
it
in a
feel,
really,
it
Right.
feel there. It feel most of the
you
time.
know.
Mhm.
So I mean,
You're gonna
Yeah.
say
That
something.
I was
Mhm.
gonna say, and that comes back to the father playing a role in your home.
mhm.
Now there are so many broken homes, so many single parents. So this is why now the females have to be an alpha female. They
Yeah.
have no choice whatsoever. So
I
they
mean-
have to do everything.
I mean, you could talk about that from the point of view of being a teacher,
Yes.
right? I mean, statistically, you may not have like actual data,
No.
right? But what is your experiences with both the male and female teenagers that are in your classroom, especially from the point of view
From
that you
my
said, right, with
classroom,
single
right?
mothers.
From my classroom, I think it was last week we asked how many of you live with your both parents?
Right.
Out of a class of 30, we had 4 hands.
right? So
Four
that was
hours.
26 children,
That's
right?
horrible.
Yes.
Children, because teenagers,
Heartbreaking.
in my mind, they're still children, right?
Yes,
Yes, they are.
So 26 children
And
growing
the
up in a
father, the
home
mother. Yeah.
with
In
only
a
one
broken
parent.
home. Yeah.
Yes. A few our parents passed, but most of them was broken homes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? And you would see that all they really want is love. They want
Yeah.
attention because now the mother or the father have to provide. So they are spending most of their time working.
Yeah.
And then come home, try to organize food, clothes for the next day. So it's a cycle. So they're not getting to spend that emotional time to help develop the child
Yeah.
in an emotional way.
So they end up being like the men that you say that think providing
Yes.
is enough.
Yeah. They think,
And
yes.
they are, unfortunately, they kind of forced into that role, right? Because, as like I say, one parent alone,
Yeah.
they have to do everything for this child. This child is no longer going to see a parent as being loving and kind and caring. Although it may happen,
Right.
that parent is focused on providing, the making sure the
Yes.
child have food and money and clothes, and they get an education.
Mhm.
And we see it reflected in the children as acted out
Yeah.
because they
Mhm.
can't get the love and care and
Yes.
attention,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least in not the volume that it should be.
Yes.
And
given
when as
to
a
them.
teacher give that to a child, we actually see a change
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
in the child. Even if the parents come in, you would see where they learn certain behaviors from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right? But if you treat that child with the love and care that they're not getting at home, you would see a change in their work, in their attitude.
Yeah.
And that's one of the pluses of teaching.
Yeah.
You get to make a
Admirable, very
change.
admirable.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think about what is it, biblical women that inspire you in the Bible, women that you all aspire to be like?
Yeah.
Yeah, we jump in a few
Jump a
questions
little bit.
here.
Have to catch up with the notes.
Yeah, flip. I mean, we did kind of in the
Skip all of-
conversation.
Yeah, it's covered.
Yeah.
We're talking about strengths and weaknesses
Yes,
here. It's
yeah.
coming out, right?
Yeah.
We have some more weaknesses though.
Okay.
Okay.
We can cycle back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Women's weaknesses or men's weaknesses?
Yeah. I mean,
Weaknesses.
yeah, weaknesses.
Generally.
We have weaknesses. I wouldn't lie. Alright.
You wanna go? Okay. So, Deborah
Mm-hmm.
from the Old Testament
Okay.
Judges, she's the first judge of Israel. Oh, the first female
Female.
judge, sorry, of Israel. She's known for her leadership, her wisdom, and she was also a worship leader. In a sense, there's a whole chapter dedicated to when she was reigning at that time. There's a whole song that she wrote in response to a victory
Oh, yes,
that
I
God
remember
gave.
that song in the Old Testament.
Yes, that God gave them the victory in a battle. And I mean, of course, you look to this woman who, in a very much male dominated
Space at that time.
space at that time, she was the first female judge.
Mhm.
And to see that God chose her, because judges at that point were appointed by God.
Yeah, that's right.
This was before King Saul and all of that, right? So to see that God saw a woman, he
Mhm.
saw that she would have also had the ability and the capabilities to lead in the same role that a man would have typically led before. And to see how she presented herself in all wisdom and strength, that to me is like, yes, this
You know,
is
and if
Love
we
it.
have to put it in the context of what the Old Testament time frame is
Mhm.
and the culture of the era,
right.
women did not have the
No.
right
No,
to
No.
do things,
They
right?
didn't have
No.
like a big say at
Right?
all.
They were
man.
actually
Yep.
Yeah.
probably seen as second-class citizens,
Yes.
and relegated to womanly childbearing and house care duties.
Yes.
But Deborah would have had, as a judge of Israel, right? She would have had to move between the tribes of Israel.
Yeah.
She would have to physically go.
Right.
A lot of times, God, I don't remember if it's mentioned in this passage, but when God spoke to the priests, it wasn't always in the temple. And a lot of times, like if we look at Moses had to keep climbing mountains to talk to God, right? Every
yeah.
time God talked to Moses,
Yeah.
he had to climb up
Up
a
a
mountain,
mountain.
right? Right? So it's probably not even far-fetched to think that Deborah would have had to do all of these physical tasks too.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. She actually went into battle. She was the
Right?
leader.
She's a
of
leader,
the,
right?
And at the time, the judge had to actually be at the forefront
Front,
of the
yeah.
army.
Right? So
So scared to see Deborah swinging a bow,
right?
you know.
Or a sword,
swing
or,
shot,
or a
well,
spear,
right? You
or
know?
a shield.
Yes,
So she
physical
would have
strength too.
She would have been very much a formidable woman.
Yes.
When it comes to her physical prowess,
Yes.
and as well as her ability to communicate with God, and then
Yes.
communicate what God says to a whole bunch of men
Yes.
who probably don't want to listen to what she
Right.
have to say because
Yeah.
culture
She's
at
a
that
woman.
time says
She's
she's
Yeah.
a woman.
There's a if we go to that story, she actually told one of the guys who I think was supposed to be the leader of the army at the time. He didn't want to go because a woman was leading, and
Right.
she told him, "You're gonna see this day that God is gonna give the victory to a woman."
Woman, yeah.
It's literally there.
You know, and-
Jehu, I think that's Jehu. She told Jehu that. I think Jehu. didn't want to go.
Barak was something actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
so right, that Deborah is an excellent role model.
Yes.
Because it shows that women can be
all
powerful.
round
And all
everything. Yeah.
And even though men are called to be servant kings and protectors and providers and priests in their home,
Mhm.
women also have that calling.
yes.
Mary and Martha was the first to believe when Jesus rose from the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He encountered Martha. Is
Yeah.
it Mary or Martha? Which one she encountered? Is
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
Right. She had
She
run
went to
to
the
the tomb.
Tomb, the
Yeah.
first.
And
yeah.
she was the first to witness the Son of
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was the first to carry of the gospel.
Yes.
Because the disciples, if you read it, they walked and they were doubting and questioning themselves. Well,
She
was he
ran
really
back to
Son of
tell.
God?
She ran
Back
back
to tell
and
them.
say,
Yeah.
"Yo,
Yeah.
he's not
not
there.
dead.
He's alive."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first evangelist, I guess,
Was a woman.
yeah, was a woman.
All right. So when Aaron mentioned this to me, the three of you all grew up in church.
Yeah.
So it have like some women that I don't know in depth as yet,
Mhm.
and I'm still learning every day, trying to learn a little more. But the woman that stood out to me is like Mary and Elizabeth.
Mhm.
Mary,
Yeah.
they are godly women. They worship God. They believe in God, and even though Elizabeth was old at 90, she had a child,
Yeah.
and just believing and hoping
Yes.
anything is possible.
Yes.
And then Mary, she just got the word from, I forget which
Gabriel.
Gabriel,
Gabriel.
right? That that she will bear a child, and it will be Jesus. And instead of questioning anything at all, she went to Elizabeth and they started to celebrate and
Yeah.
sing, and I find that is amazing.
She
like
Mary totally availed herself to
Focus on God.
what
Yeah.
God told her.
she just
yeah.
heard the word, say, "All right, cool,"
Yes.
and going with it.
Yes.
But if that happened like in today's society, Joseph would have been like, "Oh,
For real? For real?
Yeah, he wouldn't even think about calling off the wedding. He just called it off.
Yeah.
He was like,
I think
this is not
I think
happening.
that is why women is hold secrets. Some women is hold secrets better. Because when the angel appeared to Zachariah and told him when his wife Elizabeth would be pregnant, John the Baptist, he didn't believe.
Yeah.
And he started questioning the angel. He said,
And-
because you're questioning me, you can't speak until this child is being born.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he
Hush him up.
doubted, he
Right.
doubted.
Yeah, doubt, hush him up.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a good lesson. When you're in doubt, hush him up. Right?
No, and our next point I want to add too is when Angel Gabriel appeared to Mary, the word of God said that she allowed it to, I'm paraphrasing, she marveled at what was said,
Mhm.
but she let it set in her spirit and she
Yes.
didn't speak about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Though it troubled her, she trusted in God. And I think
Yes.
if I have to give women the props, and women make some of the greatest intercessors because they have that tenacity to travail, to go beyond the borders that a man, like if I cross you wrong more than 3 times, you write me off.
Yeah.
Not that you would hate me, you
Yeah.
can't like have less to
I
do with me,
gone,
right?
I gone,
But
yeah.
a woman have this how to say this nurturing way that they would go beyond the courts of God. And I've seen my parents, I've seen my mom do it, I've seen very powerful women of God do it, where the father would give up on the child and that woman would not stop praying until she see her son
Mhm.
come to the Lord. And I admire women that go before God continuously. And that's what Jesus was telling us. He said, for the king that did regarded not anybody, he was
Yeah.
an unruly king, but the woman kept pestering him. And Jesus said, because this woman keep on nagging me. I'm using the word nagging loosely. I will grant her request.
Yeah.
Women have this way that they're very persistent,
Yeah.
Right.
and I like that
Mm-hmm.
Strength. Yeah.
strength.
I also have Sarah
Sarah.
Oh
Sarah
yeah.
and Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
I think when God said, when she laughed, when God said that
Mm.
she will have a child, she's so old that it's impossible. He was like, "Is there anything too hard for me to do?"
Right.
Yeah.
And she afterwards she was like, "Okay, let's go with it." And just trusting in the Lord. Just I think that is one of the lessons from Sarah.
Yeah.
Is trusting in the Lord with all your heart and lean not onto your own understanding. Because we would have so many doubts of certain things, but if you just trust, believe, and He said to ask and you'll receive, it will happen.
Yeah. It lends itself to let us know that it's okay to have doubts sometimes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because we might not be physically capable. We may not be, have the mental fortitude to do things. We may not feel like we could speak properly or, stand up in front of crowds or do all of these things that might be impossible for us. And it's okay to have doubts, but you have to cast those doubts on the Lord.
Yes.
Not to doubt Him,
Yeah.
but you cast those fears and you cast those doubts on the Lord, and He will work it out.
Yes.
I think that's a good example that we can learn from, because every day we experience something I might be able to do this. In the gym sometimes I just feel like today when we were doing the bench press, right?
Yeah.
I never tried like that weight,
Yes.
right? And I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. I'll try it. I don't know if I can do it. And she was like, yeah, I'm with you. And he was like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Talking about that, even in gym when I lift and heavy too, I would be like, "Oh gosh, how about this?"
Yeah.
Because you're going to push yourself.
Yeah, but in the same way, the Lord is always saying, I'm with you.
Yes.
And when He wasn't here in His physical body anymore, He sent the Holy Spirit to
That's
be
right.
with us.
Yes.
He's
And
most
then
important.
Beyond that, we have, you invite the Lord into your heart. He's literally there with you, giving you strength, giving you confidence, taking those fears and doubts that you have. And women are no less an example.
Before we go
of
back
doing
to
that
that
too.
weakness, right? That said something. You write down something in our reading. I think this will be a big topic, big question. It's like, what are your thoughts on feminism? But I want to add a separation to that: biblical feminism from worldly feminism, because there are
Okay.
two different aspects of what we could. I would think what you talk about just now with the examples of these women, I would say they are biblical women that you should look up to,
Yeah.
and that is entirely feminism.
Well, okay. So it's important, I guess, how we define it.
Yeah.
Right? So feminism defined, it's a movement that advocates for the equal rights,
Mhm.
opportunities, and the treatment of both genders. Right?
Right.
So with females and
Yeah,
for men,
so-
you want to be treated as equal as the men do.
Yeah.
So the main goal of feminism is equality in leadership, education, or
Yeah.
more prevalent is like in a professional environment.
Yeah, it's to create equal opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we pull back to, I guess, I don't know if it's like the theme verse, right? Genesis
You could go ahead.
1:26.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it keeps recurring.
Yeah.
That Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our image and according to our likeness, let them have dominion. So we already established that it's both male and female
Yeah.
that were
Dominion.
given that dominion and
Yes.
authority. God created them in His own image, male and female, He created them.
Yes.
And He said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion. So honestly, from the definition of feminism as I just read,
Mhm.
women and men were created equal in value and dignity, and I
Yes.
agree that we should therefore be treated
Equally,
equally
yes.
in that regard.
Yes.
Yes.
Because in the professional or the vocational sense, if a job function or the job role is exactly the same, if it's exactly the same,
Yeah.
and a man is doing it and a woman is doing it,
Why
why
am I
does it have
getting
to be a
less?
different P?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just from an exact point of view. If it is
Yeah, if-
exactly the same,
Same. Yeah.
we a very, very basic example, right? You have to pick up this paper, you go into the printer to make a copy.
Mhm.
If a man is doing it versus a woman doing it, it's the exact same job. So I believe that it should be treated equal
Yeah.
in that regard.
I think there must be equality in um the Bible shows it in the Old Testament, and that's like we're talking about like 4,000 years up removed from us, right?
Yeah.
In the past, and it shows it there because Deborah herself was a
Yes.
priest, right?
Judge.
A judge, sorry,
Mhm,
right? She was a
mhm,
judge
mhm.
of Israel, and I believe that women should be given the same exact opportunities and the same exact reward for that opportunity if they earn it,
Of
if
course,
they
yeah.
deserve it.
And
And
it's
the same for the men,
exactly same
right?
thing for the
So
man.
I shouldn't have a problem as guys. You shouldn't have a problem to see a woman engineer, right?
Yeah.
Or a woman IT tech, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Because they have that calling too, or they have the ability, and ingrained in our design, it is a level playing field
Yes.
when it comes to that.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
And I think the feminism too, the original, the real feminism, like why there was a fight for this, is for females not to be abused,
Right.
yeah.
sexual abuse.
Well, that was the first wave. That was first wave
Yeah.
feminism, right? So
Right.
it was a fight against, well, to give them
First wave.
suffrage, right, which is the ability to to vote and get educated.
Yes. So I think
all that
that
kind
is
of
very important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Feminism in that aspect.
Yeah, and then, well, you all know, should be aware that there was first wave, second wave, and then now third wave
Yeah.
Now it's
feminism,
third wave.
Yeah.
right?
So,
But so
the definition that I read is definitely first wave.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so
First
much more complex
the
now.
first and then into second wave.
Yeah.
Where I cannot jump at? Where did you think that feminism became toxic? In the sense that, what I say, with social media, with the wrong
Right.
information being put out there that is not biblical, that is not how to say, emotionally accurate from a stable woman's point of view, a woman that's married, a woman that has raised her kids God fearing, whatever across the board of what a woman supposed to be. Where do you think the toxicity, if I have it correct, where
Yeah.
did it start, or where do you think it came from?
Easy to blame the devil in this case.
Well, here's the
But
thing, right?
I
We like to
think-
say
yes,
we like to say the
it's-
devil. We like to say the devil this and the devil
is.
that.
Let me look
The
back.
devil and the devil busy.
Let me look back
half
at
the time,
It
half the
came
time
from
is
the
you.
It's your choices, right?
It
Yeah.
came from the abuse of the woman, and they think it is natural for it to be that way. So now they think, well, it's okay to go on social media, show off myself. This is feminism, showing off the body, prostitution, pornography, all those things. They think that is fighting for their rights, but using sexuality, but that is really a delusion
Mm.
because in Leviticus, God did not say to be those things.
right.
You know, so
If we had to
Answer it
strip
that
it back to what the word of God is, then the toxic masculinity slash femininity that going on is not right in the eyes of God. So
No.
therefore in all aspects is toxic. And
Yeah.
women shouldn't be behaving this way, and men should not be behaving in that way also.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
So
also to kind of be knowledgeable on where we stand as the church, or where we stand as men and women of God, to uphold biblical standards,
mhm.
but as well as understand why God put those standards there.
Yeah.
And it's for a reason to protect us in our individuality, because if we go back to what we were saying last week, that is what we were created for,
Yeah.
to know your purpose, as
To
the
know
what we have
Yes.
open up about. And
Yes.
if females and men and women don't know their purpose,
yeah,
this is where it actually stems from. It actually stems from, if you remember, King Ahab and Jezebel.
Yep.
Ahab was very passive.
Very
he allowed
passive.
he allowed
Okay.
King Jezebel to do what she want.
Yes.
Kill all the prophets in the land, build idolatrous
Idols, yeah.
altars all over.
Yes.
That is why Elisha was in hiding, because
Yes.
they wanted to kill him.
Kill him.
Yeah.
And men become Ahab of this time.
Yeah,
Right.
we have adopted a Ahab personality.
Yeah,
Right? Or
Yeah.
we could kind of brand it, the spirit,
of Ahab.
because his
Yeah.
characteristics
Yes. Yes.
have been persistent throughout history still.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it has really allowed society to kind of spiral out of control.
Mhm.
Because again, like we said, the shield and the protection is not there.
Yeah.
And this, you know.
And
So
I think that answers the question as to why or at what point did it become toxic with respect to the feminism, because the women started to raise up and they got louder with their requests. They
Yeah.
became more masculine, and because the men took a backseat and they allowed the passivity to dominate, that's where it
Because
crossed.
it's
So I'm like,
control.
we blame any man? Is it?
yeah, well, I mean, we have
we missing out.
we
on
have
shield.
blame. Yeah, we have blame
to
to
share.
carry.
Yeah, we
you
have
know?
blame to share.
Yeah.
But then it's the choices too of the woman.
Yeah.
Because just like how God made male and female, we're supposed to go to Christ in
Correct.
everything.
Correct.
Mhm.
So we can't only blame the man
Yeah.
because we have to know what is right from wrong. So just because the man is not there at that point, this is where wholeness comes in. You have to make sure you are whole before. the
So
man
is
comes
is
in.
modern feminism harming what it is to be a woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have any like in what way? What way
So
would you say?
okay, what immediately comes to mind is the pro-choice thing
Right,
that's
okay.
been circulating. It's in modern day society. The woman has the right to her body, her choice. Yes, you do have the right to your body, your choice. But for me, it becomes a problem when you allow that choice to take away from your ultimate purpose.
Yeah,
You were designed
to be a
to
multi.
do that, to we have the ability to get pregnant and to carry the baby and so on, and to multiply. We were charged with procreation.
Yeah.
If that was a thing back then, we would not be here today because
True.
the
Correct.
human race would probably have been
Yeah.
gone
Yeah.
Yeah.
by now.
You know,
So to me, it that's where it becomes really big for me,
Go back
where
to
you
that old
stop.
OnlyFans thing you were talking about last week.
Yeah.
yeah, you know, yeah, and
I actually
people
yeah.
have that
using their
here
bodies
too.
and so.
OnlyFans,
But
using
like,
your body
so
to make money.
I get asked that question a lot when I lecture in biology and stuff. I get asked that question a lot,
Right.
especially sometimes younger teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Because they're exposed to all of these things, right?
Right.
And so they ask, well, why not? Why can't I just get rid of the baby?
Right.
Right? Things like that. And they will be very open with it, right? And I kind of foster a nice open atmosphere where they can feel free
Good.
to ask.
That's
Right?
good.
But my retort is always, why does it have to reach there?
Yeah.
Okay? If we
Yeah.
can't stop you and you can't find the will or the control to remain abstinent,
Yes.
why not then practice safe sex? Why
Right.
does it have to reach to the point
Yes.
where you have
You
to
have to-
end a life?
Exactly.
Right? Why do we have to now define, go through the struggle now to define, well, when does life start?
Right.
This
You know?
is on the next big topic.
It is
It
a
is a
big
big
topic, but
topic, yeah.
it is that, right? So yes, you have authority over your body and right to your body to use, how you see fit. But that child or that life is not your body.
No.
Mm-hmm.
That is their body.
Yeah.
And you are taking away their right and their choice
Yeah.
to become somebody.
Right.
And so, I think the advice is, if you cannot abstain and wait till marriage, right, which is the right thing to do.
Yes.
If you cannot do it, then at the very least practice safe sex.
Yeah.
And I don't want to send the message because
That's a promotion now.
that are
Yeah.
promoting having sex outside of marriage.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Christian youths, we tell them that you cannot.
Yes.
But we don't tell them
Why?
that why.
yeah.
Or we don't tell them that there are consequences, and
Yes.
we think like they will figure it out on their own, but we
Right.
can't leave them to figure it out on their
No,
own
because
then we do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because if we leave ourselves, right, if we have to make decisions on our own without having a strong biblical foundation, our natural ability, our natural nature, we are sinful.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's the
Yes.
part that we are gonna
We'll
go
take.
down.
Yeah.
We're gonna make the wrong
Decisions,
choices.
yeah.
And you mentioned the word consequence, like that was running through my mind as you
Yeah.
mentioned that we are growing up now, our kids are growing up in environments that don't showcase the consequences to your
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah.
So you just do whatever you want to. There's a strong entitlement
Yeah.
type thing happening now amongst the young
Yeah.
generations.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, without the
Young
consequence.
children asking the parents, so if I come out, if I pass this exam again,
Yeah.
When I mean,
What
like
is it
when I was growing up,
Yeah.
I wouldn't can ask that question like what again. It's like when you pass that exam, you got a good job.
Yeah.
Same
Guys,
No,
don't
no,
be the
no.
answer. So yeah, yeah.
When, when you pass the exam, you wouldn't get licks.
Yeah, exactly.
you get passed. That's what you get. That's what you do the exam for.
And I
You know?
think it all goes back to Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
where man was created to have relationship with God,
Yes.
and Satan took that away, where our
Mm.
dependency and our genetic makeup is of God,
Mm-hmm.
but individuality is settled with God,
Mm-hmm.
in
yeah.
God.
Yeah, in God, yeah.
And from ever since, if we read the Bible, and even if we look at what's going on in today's society, man has been trying to operate, and when I mean man, I mean both genders.
Mhm.
We have been trying to operate without God, and we see the chaos that is actually happening in today's world. But
Yeah,
we try to
we've-
be dependent.
We have labeled Christianity as this religion with a whole bunch of rules and no fun,
Mhm.
no personality, and all you're doing is just praying and talking to God and trying to be this perfect person,
Yeah.
which is, I think, a false reality and a false
Yes.
representation of what a Christian is, right? And because of that, people have actually turned away.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people who grew up in church and they turn away from it because they
Yeah.
think too much rules and too much rigidity, and you can't
Mhm.
have freedom to express yourself. And
Yeah.
Christians, they can't live a life that is fun and adventurous and
Right.
fulfilling.
Right.
And I believe that you can. I think
Yes.
I live my
Definitely,
life
no,
that
definitely,
way.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think I live my life that way
Yeah.
with the understanding that I don't do anything without the grace of God going before me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't do anything without God actually allowing that thing to happen, whether it is good or bad.
Right.
And
It's not boring, no? It's actually quite
No.
it's very
so
entertaining if you
true.
think about it. If you want the best drama, action, romance, bacchanal novel ever, right?
Right. So
Right?
Right
Go,
here.
go to the Bible. And the thing is that these are not stories. These are
Yeah.
actual events that happen.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not
Wild.
somebody making up something and saying so, but if we want to move the conversation forward, how does, because all of what we've been talking about now is actually your Christian worldview,
Mhm.
right? And how you imprint that worldview
Mhm.
or your ideals based on biblical principles,
Mhm.
how you imprint that worldview or create a lens for yourself to see the world.
Mhm.
So the question I'm asking is, how does your Christian or being a Christian shape that worldview when you're looking at the various problems or aspects of
Yeah.
reality?
Looking at
Right.
through the lens, how I
Yeah.
see it, yeah.
So, when we talk about worldview, it's about how an individual perceives or
Mhm.
interprets the world around them,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Things, how they perceive reality, how they perceive morality,
Yeah.
their identity, their purpose, how they treat with relationships, those kind of things. For me, Christianity and then being a Christ follower, that's what it is, right?
Mhm.
Reshapes how life itself is understood. So, one, God is the center of reality.
Mhm.
Good.
He created this world, the universe as we know it was not an accident, it wasn't self created. And there is so much value in that. So in understanding or allowing that to shape how I view the world around me, knowing God is the center of it all, He is the one that I have to go back to always
Yes.
to know what to do next.
Right.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
So it comes back, like Shin was saying about having that relationship and going to God all the time.
Yes.
Right. Well, I was saved in 2017,
She's a
and
baby Christian.
yeah,
Aw.
2017 is a few years now. But yes,
Just a
2017 I'm back.
baby. Just a baby.
I'm baptized in 2018. So being in the world before, when you look at it now, you would ask yourself, what you was really doing?
Yeah, it's a difference for you, and it's a valid point to bring
Yeah.
up, right? And that's
Yeah.
why I ask
Yeah.
it, because our experience, we grew
It's
up as
different
pastors'
from
kids.
mine, yeah.
We grew up in the church,
Mhm.
right? Now, that's not to say that we had an easy road
Yeah.
and
No,
it
and
was
or did we do everything right?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it wasn't a perfect journey. It will never be for none of us.
Yeah.
But our lived reality growing up in church
Mhm.
is different from your lived reality. Even though like your mom
Yeah.
was always in church and
Yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah.
Your lived reality wasn't that you was always there.
No.
Right.
You know? So
Alright, so even though my mom, I grew up in a single home, right?
Mhm.
My dad left when I was 2. So mommy had to fill the role.
mhm.
And she would try, at least one Sunday every month or something, we go to church. But again, you didn't have that shield, you didn't have that guidance.
Mm.
So with that, I was living in the world, smoking, drinking, having fun, yeah.
Oh my.
Having fun in the world, partying, all those things, right?
Gangster.
And I didn't see anything wrong in it,
Right.
right? But then, I was married before, and I was unequally yoked. And I think that was one of the reasons why it did not work out. And when I was saved in 2017, it was because of, okay, what I should say. No matter that I went through all of that, I always believe in Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
It was a Hindu home before one thing, but even though I would preach Christ,
Mm.
and I know something was going wrong,
Mhm.
and I went down on my knees and I prayed, and the answer was get up and move. So I did that. Then I went to church, I went to Faith Center, and I was saved there and baptized in 2018. And now I realize, well, I should say my eyes was open,
Mhm.
that what I was doing was wrong. And the thing with God is that He gives you the choice. Yes, you're baptized, yes, you're saved, but He will give you the choice in everything that you do. But if you want to take things into your own hands, then He will let you feel the brunt of it.
Mhm.
So, yes, even though I was saved and baptized, yes, I made mistakes, but this is where fellowship is important.
Mhm.
And have females that could guide you,
Mhm.
you know, and make all your choices with Christ.
Correct.
Right? So you're going to line somewhere and you're going to have all kind of craziness. Ask God, is this pleasing to you?
Wow.
So then you'll be like, no. So you know what? I'll skip this one.
Mhm.
Next time we all hang out or something, right?
You know, to your point there, while you're going through your notes,
Yeah,
I see about the paragraph, right? You got
Yeah.
sentence on it, right? To your point there, there's also something relational with God where if you don't spend time with Him,
Yes.
then you cannot recognize the voice of God.
Yes.
Yes.
And this morning we were talking about
Talking about that,
your
yeah.
conscience.
Yeah.
And sometimes your conscience is you telling yourself something.
Mhm.
But the Lord also uses that conscience to send a message. He speaks to you through that, right?
Right.
Because I don't know about y'all, but I didn't have any burning bush experience. The Lord didn't light up a tree
Yeah.
and then talk to me through that tree.
Right.
But He speaks to me in my heart.
Right.
And so I hear voices or convictions, right? In the form of convictions. Not that I just have voices talking in my head, right?
Voice.
Yeah, right? But it is usually a very clear cut conviction
Right.
that it is black and white.
Yes.
And then I have the choice to listen to that or not.
Right.
You know, God
Yeah.
gave us that free will, and it is important to spend time speaking to God. And if you want to hear God talk, you need to open our Bible because
Yes.
those words are from Him.
Yeah.
And I
And
think what one of my biggest, what I should say, breakthrough is in loneliness.
mm,
Mm.
God speaks to you. Once you pull yourself apart, spend time with God, praise Him, worship Him, spend time in the Word. Yes, He
Yeah.
open doors.
humans are very susceptible and we perceive the world with our five senses, right? And when you can pull yourself away from that, that is when you can hear the voice of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you can't go and you can't go to a fete and think, well, that's where I'm going to hear the voice of the Lord.
Right.
Right? You can't even hear your own voice, right?
Yeah.
Much less
That's
for
true.
the voice of the Lord.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you can't talk to somebody and do something for them in
Yeah.
that position.
Right.
But if you want to create a relationship with God, He
Mm.
deserves the reverence and the respect,
Mhm.
and He has the authority to command you, or has given you that you should pull yourself away
Right.
and spend time with Him, so that you can
Mhm.
learn to recognize that voice that you're talking about. You know?
Yeah. As you were saying, how we grew up, we don't have a grand, as some would define it, a grand testimony of coming to God
Mhm.
moment. We didn't have a burning bush
Yeah.
experience, but what we have, and it's so biblical. It says, "A train up a child in the way
Yes.
that they should go, so
So
when they are
older,
old, they would not
depart.
depart."
Yes.
So kudos to our parents
Yes.
who did what they were supposed to do,
Yes.
that we are where we are. So it's not, I always thought that I didn't have a testimony.
Yeah.
I have experiences, made wrong choices, chose wrong relationships, those kind of things.
Mhm.
But I always felt as though, if somebody asks you, what's your testimony? I
Yeah.
don't have a testimony.
Yeah, we do have the
But-
the Lord Savior from the sickness,
Your
Yeah.
lifestyle.
how He spin around your life.
Yeah.
Now your lifestyle
You know?
is a testimony. Actually,
Yes.
a living testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just points back directly to that verse that says, you train a child,
Yeah.
and when they're old, they would not
Not
depart.
depart. Yeah.
I like your testimony, very. That was a very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
And-
today we're not training the children,
Yeah.
that's it, exactly.
and so they don't have something to depart from.
Mhm.
Right.
We're not training the children. We're not training the children.
Right.
And because of me stepping aside and listening and doing what I'm supposed to do and don't take things into my own hands,
Mm.
this is where I met him.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
nice. The Lord. The
Come here.
Lord. No.
Yeah.
She said, she said, the Lord say.
You were one
Yeah,
of
we gotta
those.
go back to that.
Yeah,
Show back that clip from last week.
yeah.
Right?
She said, the Lord say.
It had certain
Did
things
that really
I asked
happen?
for.
Did that really happen?
We had that
No.
conversation. We had that
I asked
conversation after, because she did tell me that there were certain things that she was praying for,
Yeah.
Right.
certain qualities.
No, you see,
In
and
a
I
man.
think
Yeah.
we need to understand this, right? Especially when it comes to asking for a spouse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You ask God for something, go in details. I'm sure women very detailed, right? So you go
Yeah.
into details, say,
Yes.
okay, what is height, what is
Mm.
and that's good. For me,
Mhm.
praying whatever you ask the Lord for in prayer is all well and fine, regardless how ridiculous it might sound to someone else. That's your prerogative to God.
Yes.
I'm sure that you said it in private, and God gave it to you on an open show.
Yeah.
You didn't wait for anybody to come and tell you. God presents that person for you, and there would be no question and doubt in your mind. You know what? It just sets right. You know
Yeah.
why? Because you allowed the Lord to take His rightful place as King of your life.
Yes.
And if we have to say anything, if we allow God to be King of our lives, Jesus as our Master and be Savior, everything else just falls into its
Yes.
rightful place.
Yeah, you know,
Matthew
you let go.
6:33.
Yeah, right.
Seek
Yeah.
first the kingdom
Yeah,
of God,
And
his
all
righteousness,
these things
all
shall be
will
added. And people tend to think all these things means
Material.
material
Yeah.
things.
Right.
Gold
Right?
and silver.
Yeah.
But it is every aspect. The things
Yes.
in that is expanded into every aspect of your
Yes,
life.
it
The
is.
desires
It
of your
is.
heart.
It
Everything.
is.
It's
It
correct.
is.
The
Yeah.
desires of your heart. And
Yeah.
when you let go and let God,
God.
Mm.
Yes.
as controlling as we like to be as
Mhm.
humans, we try to fit everything in the parameters that we could control.
Yeah.
Right? And when you let go of that, when you have the ability to let go of that, you realize that everything else just kind of falls in place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything falls in
And
place.
it falls so fast
So quickly.
that I don't know, I think when you have this relationship with God, time this sense to kind of lose its place because you're actually growing in a relationship with
Yeah.
God and you're spending time, so it doesn't really matter who come in, who don't come.
Yeah.
Everything just falls, the job, your husband or your wife, the financial breakthrough, anything you want. People need to understand God knows what's best for you, because
Yes.
I can't tell God, you know what, be in control of my life and hey, take the phone and then I give
Yeah.
her back the phone. No,
Yeah.
you can't, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
Dear God, be in control of my life. Let your will be done.
But let me do this.
But let me do this and let me do that. And this is what I want to do.
You're trying to lawyer God.
Yeah, right. You're trying to find loopholes, and it can't work. I don't think it works like that, because there's no example in the Bible where that function actually happened.
Yeah, you let
You
God
know?
take full control.
And every time you fight the will of God, your life goes in a wayward direction.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say or just to kind of bring the conversation up to a close, up to a point,
Yeah.
was that being a biblical woman, there are certain aspects of your life and certain practices that you have in your everyday life. And what would be some of those practical biblical pieces of advice that you would give to
Young woman.
young women, even young men who are desirous of a relationship
Right.
with a God-fearing woman?
Mhm.
What are some of those practical pieces of advice that you could give to our audience?
Well, yeah,
Look, the same thing I brought up before.
Mhm.
He asks in everything you do, put Christ first.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Every single thing. If you're just going down the road, or if you have to make a decision on buying a home or whatever, put it to God first.
yes.
Pray first,
So we
as
have
they
to
say.
pray.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
okay, I love
Talk to God. Everything. Praying don't have to be in your bedroom, on the ground, anywhere. You can pray.
Yeah.
It's a conversation. It's a relationship with
Yeah.
Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one.
Yep. That's my number one too. We have to anchor ourselves in God,
Yes.
because from Him everything else
that.
flows.
Check one woman of prayer.
Yeah, woman of prayer.
Right,
Yeah.
and while you said that, we can pray anytime and
Yeah.
anywhere. Yes, we can. We ought to pray without ceasing. But I think it's also very important that we have a separated
Dedicated time.
yeah, dedicated
Yeah.
time, because life happens, right? We get so
Mhm.
busy, and women, okay, now that we're working and so on,
Yeah.
we get up in the morning, we prepare for work, we probably make a sandwich for the husband or cook whatever it may be. Then you go through your day. You come back home, organize to go to the gym. Although I didn't do that last week.
Man, like I watched these
I'll
two
give it to
guys at the gym, right?
Yeah.
And I think I'd mentioned this to both of you all. They have such a cohesive support system.
Right.
I admire that.
Yes.
Sometimes you would see from afar, sometimes you would know watching you. And I think I mentioned this to both of you all. I like the fact that they work hand in hand or toe to toe with each other. Like
Yeah.
if he's training clients, she would
Yeah.
take some of the clients and they would kind of split the
Right.
workload. I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? That is admirable. Because you have
Yes.
someone there that is not just cheering you on, but willing to actually take the fork, so to speak,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I see that Aaron is being a man in the sense of not dominating the woman and
Yeah.
making her feel as though
Was
she
I
has
say,
to.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and or okay, you need to stay home and
Yeah.
do this. I'm going out to work or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a very, you all are working in the way that it's not competitive,
It's
Yeah.
well
but
designed.
Yeah.
it's the design. That's the thing for this episode.
Yeah, this thing, yeah. They actually
And
gesture
that's
for
just
this
bringing me
episode.
to our
Yeah,
wedding thing
yeah,
over there.
yeah. True.
Where they are no longer two. I can't read
The
it
two
from
have
there.
become one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we intertwine. And the thing about that is that communication is important. So talking to each other all the time in order to have that.
Food is a
Oh,
big
yeah.
one. Women have to be good communicators, and communication between the female half of the species and the male half of the species is so different.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
because
right.
of how we are wired.
Yeah.
You all are logical. We are emotional.
Yeah.
So it takes a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a give and take on both sides when it comes to
Yeah.
communication. And we can
Yeah.
probably do a whole episode on what are good ways to communicate to your husband or to a male and
Yep.
versus
Mhm.
communicate
Yeah,
to your
that's a
wife
good
or a female.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. With respect to come back to the advice, I think young women or women, we need to develop wisdom over emotion-driven living,
Okay.
because we are emotional by
Yes.
design, right?
That was one of my weaknesses I had.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
could be considered, like when you said communication, and I think back to the woman, it could be considered a weakness as well as a strength. Because
Yeah.
like when I look at like my husband, he is a very strong communicator, very strong. Like when posed with a question or something, he has this thing where he would stop, he thinks about it,
Yeah.
and then gives you it straight.
Yeah.
I am one of those. I would spew all over the place. I go all over the place before finding my point,
Right.
or sometimes I
Very
would shut
logical.
down
Yeah.
and not even speak at all.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it could be frustrating for him.
Yeah.
And so it could be considered a weakness over a strength in depends on the situation. So developing wisdom and not allowing the emotion to drive
Yeah.
is very important as a young woman. And Proverbs 9:10 tells us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Mhm.
So it is all about being anchored in Christ, being anchored in the Lord to ensure that He remains at the helm. We run to Him, allow Him to give us that open mindedness and everything that we would need. And with that whole thing too, we should not rush as women to make decisions. You mentioned that if you have to, it could be a small decision or something very big.
Mhm.
Don't rush to make the decision.
Yeah.
Ensure that you seek godly counsel
Yes.
before stepping into those things.
And that brings me to, well, seeking godly counsel, have real godly friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Friends that they can lean on and they can tell you when you're going wrong.
Yeah.
Not your friends who, I agree with you and
Not
everything.
the yes people.
No.
Okay.
They have the ones that will say, Verena, I don't think that's the right thing.
Right.
Hold on. Now we talk about this
Yes.
separately.
Mm-hmm.
You really need that. And in order to
Mhm.
get that, you have to be in the church.
Right.
Right? So if you form like a nice community, friends, well, I have a nice sister.
Gorgeous.
Um,
Mhm.
I could lean on her.
You blessed.
I blessed you. But yes, having godly women and men, to be able to talk things through, I think that is very important.
Yeah.
And I think another way that we could, what is this? What advice to give women? I think we could say, use your gifts that the Lord gave you
Mm-hmm.
to serve Him,
Mm-hmm.
to spread His word. It is singing, serving in church, helping out in the gym, even at work, in every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Use your talents.
Mhm.
If you can speak properly, use it.
Yes.
So I think that's one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Proverbs 31:25, the Proverbs 31 woman, that I guess could be a conversation by itself too, because
Yeah.
she presents herself as the pinnacle, right? So many things that we can grab from her.
I
But
think I have that one right now.
Yeah,
31,
Proverbs
25.
31,
okay,
25,
great,
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So it says
Strong, yeah.
she's clothed in strength and dignity, and she could laugh at the days to come. So, as a young woman, I think it is important that we walk in the strength that we know that God gave us.
Yeah.
We have
Yes.
that authority. We need to walk in it and to exercise it. But as you said, we do so in kindness
Yes.
and not to be domineering. We be gentle but not naive.
Mm-hmm.
Be confident but not be arrogant,
Yes.
and be open and not too guarded, I guess, all the time.
Yeah.
There's a time when we need to be open.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have as well, embrace your tender self. Embrace your
yes.
femininity.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Agree,
Remember, we have
agree.
the temple of God.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of your body, take care of your health, your mind, your spirit with the Lord, and be submissive to your husband, those who are
Mhm.
married.
Mm-hmm.
Being submissive, that means, he is a leader in the home.
Yeah.
Take his advice. Don't feel that you have to step forward over him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you might have probably a better idea, but this is where communication comes
Yes.
in, and you come to an agreement.
Also, when you're living with a man that's God fearing,
Yes.
he is open to those things because
Yeah.
he should understand that we are both given dominion,
Yes.
Exactly.
and he is not the one given dominion over you.
Not
Yes.
domineering them.
Yeah.
And it's not about because the man is the head of the home
Mhm.
means that he is the be all and end all and the authority
Mm-hmm.
to say what happens all the time, right?
Mhm.
The head of the home, a head cannot move without a neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn that
Right?
in,
Right? We learn that in marriage.
Counseling.
marriage,
Yeah.
right? So if the man is the head, the woman is the neck.
Yes.
And the neck determines where the head could go.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
But that, sometimes the neck have a better idea, a better way of doing
Yeah.
things.
The sleep bad, the neck is pain,
You
so don't sleep bad, otherwise the neck is pain,
Yeah. So you sleep bad, you get neck pain, right? Right. So if you make a wrong move, you might get a twitch. But it's when you are in a relationship with a God-fearing man who understands the purpose of a woman and the purpose of the man within the relationship, then being submissive is not a problem.
No.
Because
Natural, right?
it comes natural.
It so does.
But it
Yeah.
also comes from a person who understands what their role is.
Yes.
And you being submissive just means that you don't have to fight for
Yes.
control over things.
Right.
Communication,
You know?
everything just
Yeah.
fits properly.
You know?
then.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
in the modern world, we think being submissive means
Weak.
you have to be weak
Yeah.
and you have to be sheltered and quiet
Yeah.
and you can't say anything and you can't do things and you have to
Mhm.
follow orders.
Yeah.
You know, and that is not what the Bible teaches.
No.
The next one that I have is be modest. Be
Yeah.
modest.
Oh,
So that's
that's
a big
good.
point,
That's
especially when
a
you
very
talk
good
about
one.
the
We
OF.
talked about this on our
Mhm,
podcast
mhm.
before, right? Be modest in your dress,
Mhm.
and not only your dress, but your behavior, how you carry about
Yes.
yourself.
You speak your
Absolutely.
language.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how you dress, how you go to the gym, how you speak, and if you're personal, often that's not representing Christ.
Mhm. I mean, a male too, right? Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
that
look
it
at
goes, yeah.
females to
It goes
kind of
both
say, okay, you
ways.
know what?
Yeah.
Okay, she doesn't
Yeah.
speak well, or she's it's derogatory or whatever. But it goes well for a man too.
Yes.
And there's a
It's an attractive quality, yeah.
yeah,
From the female perspective, is a attractive quality to see a man, to hear a man speak and be eloquent and be
yes,
good with his words and his
Yes,
posture and his
right.
command of a space.
yeah,
Those things are attractive to a woman. So that's
Yeah.
an advice for women. Like
yes.
Yeah.
that's the kind of man you should look
Yeah.
for.
So biblical references for that would be okay, I don't know where the first one is taken from, but it says that allow your words to be filled with grace.
Yeah.
So everything that you speak should be something that is graceful and it does
Yes.
not bring down, doesn't tear one down, but
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
builds you up. That I think is from Proverbs.
Proverbs.
And then it's another proverb that said a soft answer turns away wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we end up in a conflict, female to female, male to male, or male to
Yeah.
female, slow, soft answers. Allow that
No
to
big quarrel,
guard your
nothing like
conversation,
that,
or your
yeah.
communication, your tone, all of that.
Yes. Have anything else?
And like that. Men need to be more decisive.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. You
Yeah.
need to have boundaries and you need to know.
Because I think first thing, in a guy in a relationship, the woman would ask, "Where do you think we should eat?" It's
Yeah.
just a simple
Oh
question.
yeah, we never know.
Where do
I
you think
never
we should
know.
go today?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't know.
And I don't know.
Yeah,
what you think?
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not saying it's not good to ask what you think.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, if your life as a man is based on, I'm asking about the white things first,
Yeah.
but then you don't have a clear direction of where you're going as an individual.
Yeah.
just-
Where you going?
You
Where
go where
she
she
wants to
wants to
go.
So
Like,
yes,
but I just look all the time. So I say, well, guess where we going
no,
today?
it's food, bro. Yeah. With food, and it's kind of like you gotta pick your battles with food.
Yeah, right. I say, guess where we going today? And then when she, oh, you get in the first try.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I don't really have that issue because,
Yeah.
well, I think we have similar taste in food.
Yeah.
It's just I might want a little more fried food sometimes.
You know, I think what you all give is today it is really important for young people to hear.
Yeah.
And to remind older people as well, because sometimes we get set in our ways
Mm.
and we think it's working for us, and we think the framework of our lives that we have, we think that is okay, but it can be so much better,
Right.
and we just don't understand or we don't realize because we're so accustomed in this one way,
Mhm.
and we think that's just how it should be because mommy and daddy was like that, or auntie and uncle like that,
Mhm.
or on TV it is like that. And in reality, the best fulfillment of your life comes from understanding the word of God
Yes.
and applying that to your life,
Yes.
Yeah.
and of course being saved and sanctified, right?
Mhm.
So I really think what you all brought to the table today,
Very
brought to the
insightful.
crossroads, right?
Yeah.
I think what you all brought to the crossroads today was really impactful and helpful. And if you made it this far in the podcast, please like and subscribe and follow, comment, share this to somebody because there are people in your life that need to hear this message.
Suggest what you want to hear next.
Yeah.
Comments.
All right, crossroads.